Hi, I'm Jerry from Attic Treasures in Occoquan, and today we're going to use Designer's Gallery Creator to create the lovely Greek key tissue holder. So the first thing I'm going to do once I've opened Designer's Gallery Designer's Gallery Creator, is I'm going to go to my Preferences box, which is right here, and I'm going to change the hoop size under the Hoops tab under Environment to 130 by 180. I'm also going to take the grid, and I want to see lines, and for inch spacing I want it to be 1/4 inch apart, so it puts the grid really close together. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I want to draw a line. Actually, I want to turn that hoop. I want to make that hoop to rotate 90 degrees, just because it gives me more even spacing. Okay, I want to draw a line, so I'm going to go to my Creator. Level 1 is the version we're using today. I'm going to hit the drawing key, which is right here, and I want this to be highlighted right here. I don't want to add stitches to it just yet. So I want this to be at about, I want it to be about 5 inches or a little more than 5 inches. So I'll start right here. I'm going to go across to about a little more than 2.5 inches here, so that I know I have it 5 inches. And I'm going to hit Shift key, and now I've drawn the line, and right click, and then now it's created a line. I'm going to put some stitches to that, so I'm going to, as I have this highlighted right here, I'm going to select the run stitch, which is that icon. Okay, I want this to be a relatively long stitch, although this really doesn't matter because this is not going to be stitched. It's not going to be part of the design. It's just going to be the marking place for the folding of the fabric. So you can see it's telling me where it starts and where it stops. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is draw a rectangle. Okay, I'm going to come up here to my shapes, and I'm going to select a shape, and I want my square here. Let's do a rectangle, a horizontal rectangle. And OK, so it's going to put that out on the screen. That's another way to get a design up. So I only have 4 points in it, so I'm going to drag this. Actually, if I hold the Shift key down and I drag this out so that it's now 5 and say 5.25 bigger. Okay, it's about 5.25 inches, and where I'm seeing that it's 5.25 inches was right here. It's 5 and 5/16. I didn't want it that big. Here we go, 5.25 inches. I also want this to go a little bit higher too. Okay. I'm going to hit the Select key. The Select key is going to allow me to make this bigger. So I want to, okay, it is now sitting at about, it says 5 3/8, so I'll make that a little shorter. I want it. Okay, there's 5.25, and I want it to be about 3.25 inches high. So I'm going to 1.5, a little less, and then bring this one down. Okay. And there. And it's telling me down here that this rectangle right now is 5.25 by 3.25 inches. Okay, now I'm going to want to draw a line about a little less than 3/4 of an inch away from this center. So I'm going to again draw a line, and I'm going to come from right in. There's my 5-inch mark right here. So I'm going to start right here, maybe click there, hit my Shift key, come all the way to the top, and again take this into the 5-inch mark across. Right click. Okay, I'm going to now make this a motif run. So I'm going to hit motif run up there. I have to add one. So I want this, and I want this, first of all, I want this to be a different color. So I'm going to change the color to, wrong thing. I want to hit the color tab. Then I'm going to go over here and click right on the color chip. Okay, now I will just select a different color. And there we go. That'll work, and hit OK. So now I have several colors here. Now I want to go back to motif right here, and I want to add a motif. So I have different styles of decorative stitches that I can use. There's some cross stitches, decorative. These are like decorative stitches that are in your machine. And then there's some knots, all kinds of candle wicking and little knots, but I don't want any of those. But you can pick whatever one you want. I'm going to pick this larger one, and I'm going to look for this right here, larger number 8, which looks an awful lot like a Greek key, and hit OK. And see, it's drawn it, but I want it a little bit bigger than that. So I'm going to make the height, I'll maybe make the height about maybe 6.5 millimeters, and the width 6.5 millimeters. And I can put a gap in between if I want. I'll show you what it looks like. I really don't want a gap, but I'll show you what it looks like when you put in a gap. See, you could have it look sparse. So you can play around with it till you get the look that you want, but I don't want a gap there. I can also rotate it. So now I get, oh, that's an interesting look. I kind of like that one too. Yeah, well, no, I'm going to put it back to rotation of 0. Okay, but you could play around with this as much as you like. So now, since I like this one, I'm going to go to put the select key. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it, which is right here. I have 2 of them, and so I'm going to move one down the same amount of distance. I'm going to draw a box. I'm going to start this box right here. So I'm going to hit the shift key and go 1, down here, to here, to here, and close the shape, which is this icon. Okay, and then right click. Or I don't have to right click, it's already done. So I want to take this and I want to put a double click about 1/2 inch from these points. There we go. I want to put in double click here, double click here, double click there, double click there, click. Okay, I need one here, about 1/2 inch away. There we go. Okay, now I want to change this to a cusp. So I'm going to right click on the point and turn it into a cusp. Right click there, right click, cusp. And what a cusp is that it says it can be a straight line on one side of it and a curved line on the other side of this node. So what I'm doing is I'm adding extra nodes, and I want them to be cusps. So I first make it black, right click on it, and turn it into a cusp. I click on it so it highlights it. See how it's black? Right click, it's a cusp. Cusp, and one more. Okay, and then I'm going to come to this one and delete the line. Delete this one. Okay. Okay, and see, now this one looks a little funny, so I'm just going to come over to here and extend this line out a little bit so that it's a little more rounded. And I'll scoot this down right there. Okay, now that's perfect. That's nice and rounded there. Okay, so now I'm going to change the color of this one. Make it red. Okay, and I'm going to apply a stitch to this, a run stitch to this one. Hit OK. Now I'll apply a run stitch. I want this one to, let's make this one a heavier stitch. I want to change the start and the stop because I don't want these knots in one spot. So there we go. I'm going to grab the start and move it somewhere else. I really don't want the knot there either, so this will be good here. And I'll move this down here so they don't start and stop at the same spot. So what I'm going to do now is turn this into a bean stitch. No, I want this to be a double stitch. And that's good. And it's actually finished. So let's see how it's going to stitch out. So I'm going to go to my Designer's Gallery everyday portion, which is this, and I'm going to select the stitch simulator. I'm just going to drag it along because I want to carefully look. Okay, there's the line down the middle that does here's the line down the middle that does the placement for the fabric. Then it's going to give me the stitch down of the two flaps. Then it's going to do the decorative stitching. And now I would put the back fabric on right sides together and it would stitch. And I see it's going around at least twice. Okay, so it's all ready to save, so I will come over here to go File, and I like to save them both as the same. I can do a save as a stitch and a working file at the same time, so I'll go Save As, and I'm going to save this into my classes, and I have a creator class. This is where I'm going to save it, and I will call this Greek key. Okay, it's already going, and you can tell it whatever format you want to save it in. I'm going to save it in PES file. Hit save, and now it's ready to stitch out. So if you want to see how I've stitched this out, check out the next video, which is going to be sewing the Greek key tissue holder, and on my YouTube channel. So if you have any questions, give us a call at Attic Treasures in Occoquan at 703-490-1536. Thank you for watching, and see you again. Hope you like this creator. I've had a lot of fun using it. Bye.